This is 2mm plate steel plasma cut out from with a sort of like a guide, a template for me to run the plasma cutter around, and I've just cleaned up the edges and I've drawn on these lines. So this is in an effort to make hosta leaf. So I'm using the fly press for this. Sort of a new process for me, and I'm just still refining the tooling and like getting used to the process, how hard I need to bump it, tweaking the tooling a little bit and all that. So I made one and I was pretty happy with the result. There was something I wanted to tweak, so then I tweaked the tooling, made another one, and it came out really bad. And I think that was probably because I was pulling too hard on the arm of the press, probably trying to do it a bit too quickly. And I think generically I just didn't take enough care, because I sort of thought like, oh well, I'll be able to smash through this one because I know what I'm doing wrong now, but kind of proved to me that actually I've still had a little way to go on the refinement of the tooling and the process. So I'm just having another go with this, trying to take it nice and slow. I'm quite aware with hosta leaves that there's loads of little veins on the leaf, but because as the material gets pulled around and stretched and whatever, you can't, seemingly, I don't know if it'll be different if I annealed the plate first or did it hot. I think if I did this hot it would be a lot more difficult to control. But anyway, so what I'm conscious of is that the lines can't get too close together because the material sort of pulls up. That's quite a nice line. I've definitely done that a bit better than what I've done before. So yeah, seemingly got to leave a little bit of a gap between the lines, because as the material gets pulled up and the gaps close up. So this is a these curves are a learning curve for me. It's quite nice, quite sort of calming doing this, I guess. I think if I get this job, which I very much hope I do, it's like for some handrails where they want like as a sort of decorative embellishment some hosta leaves branching off them. If I get this job, what I will probably do is take the sort of templating to the next step. So I've kind of come up with this template which I run the plasma cutter around to give me the shape of the leaf. But what I'll do is I will make a template for the drawing of the lines, because I've been sort of drawing them on, looking at them, thinking, no, that doesn't look right, rubbing them out, doing it again, and so that takes quite a while. So I think what I'll do is I'll come up with like a piece of card or something that I can just like plop onto the bit of like steel that I've cut out, and then that will give me an immediate like way of knowing where my lines need to go, because cutting the steel out, like the blank piece of steel, is pretty quick. But then drawing it on was a bit of a sort of trial and error process where I'm losing a lot of time, because I think these have got potential to become like when I get an inquiry for something which is something I think I'm going to do more of this in the future. I sort of see mileage in it in the future, and I'll spend quite a while like making templates and making the tooling, and potentially not charging for any of that. Well, I haven't charged for any of this anyway, because I think I've got mileage in this in the future. If it's something I'm just never going to use again, then that's all chargeable time, really, isn't it? But I'm being cautious this time and not going too deep in one go, and because I think before when I made the version of it which I thought was a bit pants, I just sort of when it was a bit gung-ho with it, so kind of trying to trace these lines now and then do it a bit like deeper on a second pass. I think I need a chair or something for the fly press, because like standing like this for a while gets you back a bit. That's the other thing. It's like seemingly if you go deep like immediately, then you've got no chance of like recuperating if the line wasn't exactly where you want it. Seemingly, like if you go a smidge and then you can sort of deepen it if you want, if like you realise you're in the right spot, and that gives you a bit more room for correction. Potentially, if this sort of like type of work, this is a sort of style of metalwork, blacksmithing, whatever you want to call it, that is kind of new to me, and so I'm not massively well tooled up for this this sort of style of work. Like what I normally do is a bit more kind of like broad strokes. This is quite precise by my standards, so to speak. So potentially, if I got more involved in this sort of finesse style of work, I would develop the tooling range a bit more. Like, because so one thing I'm finding now is I've got this radius off that way and a radius off that way, sort of to allow me to be able to turn the workpiece in the tooling. But nevertheless, like I'm trying to get into that spot there now, and it's hard for it to seat in there. So maybe I'll try but potentially, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, that if I made more tooling to suit like every little corner, maybe like I could make a curved set or something, which would mean that like all these tight difficult areas, maybe I don't know, like maybe I just need to get better. Let's see how this comes out. Maybe I just need to like refine this process with this tooling and like just learn how to use it better. I've definitely found in the past that I make some tooling for a job, and then I might get another inquiry in the future for like a fern. I've done fern leaves in the past, which were definitely like not as they were done hot and out of a thicker material, etc. And see, that's what there, like that buckling. I wonder if like a second tool at that point would be right to be able to get into that spot. But the fern leaves that I've done in the past, the first time I did them, I was like, oh, okay, great, yeah, this tooling's working really well, and I had a process for doing it. And then I was, happy enough with the result, and then I got another job also where the client wanted this sort of fern leaf motif that I came up with, and because it was the second time then round of it, I sort of discovered a better way to use the tooling, which gave me maybe a better result. So that's why I'm persisting with this tooling and just trying to refine it a bit, because it's potentially the case that I just need to learn how to use it a bit better. Obviously, if I did this hot, I wouldn't be able to hold it like this with my bare hands, so that's why I'm kind of reluctant to try it as a hot process, because I just know that it will just become more awkward. I mean, in terms of shaping the metal, it's clear that I don't really need it to be hot because I'm getting like a nice result, but maybe this will one day become a two-stage process. Maybe I'll sort of rough everything out cold like this and then refine it hot. Yeah. So one thing I was wondering, I don't know if this will work, is turning it over and bumping it in like that. I kind of like the undulations that are created by... Oh, my line's rubbing off. I'm gonna just hold that there, get my pen. Rub the line off with my fingers. Joel Tar, Artist Blacksmith, sponsored by Sharpie. I'll tell you what is nice about this is that it's quite quiet doing this. Not just because it's quiet outside, but like, I love having a power hammer, I love having a gas forge, but the noise does my head in. Like, it's one of my big bugbears about this craft. It's just a effing relentless noise, just does your nut in. I wear ear defenders a hell of a lot of times. I just want to sort of try and drown out the noise, but the other thing about ear defenders, I find them really claustrophobic. I don't like that sort of pressure on my head. That's when I get sort of jealous of like green woodworkers who do like carving on a sawhorse, that sort of thing, because it's just quiet, and when you've got the with a gas forge and power hammer chuffing away in the background, does my nut in. edges. Hang on. Oh jeez. Right. I'm gonna wibbly wobbly on that one, I think. Maybe I'll try and bring that over here a little bit. Like that. One thing I've noticed in this process and other similar processes is that you need to radius the front and back of the tooling, so you don't leave like a galling mark at the front and back edges. So that's why there's a sort of rounded tip to the top tooling and rounded off to the bottom tooling. But nevertheless, even so, you can't seemingly like jump really far on ahead. You've got to do like small little increments to make sure like the little dents that you're doing line up or join up. So like if I did tiny increments here, I'll get a better result than if I jump forward to like there. Something I've wondered about this process, and if, like I was saying, I just need to get better at using the tooling, is I've stopped shy of the central vein there. Previously I was running all the way up into the middle, but do I do that bit now? See, I could do these outer ones and then leave it. So yeah, I think actually what I do is I come to this outer one and work in, because I think sometimes like the material gets a bit like stressed in the middle, and that second leaf that I was saying about earlier that I had a go at making, and actually made it worse than the first one. I ran everything, I was a bit overconfident and ran everything like deep into the middle, and then it actually like pierced, stretched, overworked, stretched the vein in the center, and it split. So what I'm going to have a crack at now is just stopping shy of that central vein, and then doing that at the end, because I reckon what it might also do is mean that I can get into that area a bit better, because as I'm working into that area, the kind of undulations in the metal that it creates means that it becomes difficult to get into that area the next time round. So like I say, I am learning at this, so let's have a crack at that now. Yeah, I'd say that leaving that and just coming to that area like at like a, yeah, because I don't know if it's noticeable or not, but with these ones up here, I've tried to sort of like have that sort of movement in it, whereas these ones just come like hard up to the vein. So especially with the front edge ones where they've got that kind of movement, it gets difficult to get right up to that central vein. I think potentially with this sort of extra care that I'm taking with it this time round, I could potentially squeeze another vein on per side of the leaf. I'll see what it all looks like come the end of it, but I think this particular leaf that I'm working on now needs to be, all the veining needs to be set a bit deeper, because I feel like it's nice, but it's not got that like real impact. I think the depth of the marks at the minute is a little bit lacking punch. I think the sort of the undulations between the veins could be a bit better. Yes, like if you look on the back there, I think specifically the central vein needs to be a bit better defined. Maybe when it comes to combining hot and cold work with this, maybe what I just need to do is like do all this cold and then sort of shape the leaf up a bit when it's hot, because I'll get more ability to like control the bend, control the overall shape if it's hot, because I can, you know, isolate the movement to one specific area. I haven't yet looked at this from the reverse side, but I can kind of feel under my hand that feels like it's this extra pressure, these extra pass and pressure that I'm putting on it is going to yield the result a bit better to what I want. Get out of it. Oh, bloody back. Which one did I just do? I did that one. Right, that's kind of difficult to get to. Should I do that? Oh, bloody hell. Right, should I do that? Yeah, let's give that a little try, see if I can reclaim some definition. Which side do I just do? Over there. Which on that one? This one. See, as this pulls up more, and I can feel like the relief of the leaf, getting more exaggerated. I'll come back to that thought now of actually this number of like veins going through the leaf is the right number, and I wouldn't want to put more in because they start getting too close together and start interfering with each other, and I can't get it under the tooling correctly, etc. So maybe it is alright as it is with this number of like veins per leaf. I guess one important factor which will come in the decision making of that is when I show you these samples to the potential new client. If they turn around and say there ain't enough veins in it for my liking, if you want the job you've got to get more veins into it, then I guess that answers the question for me then, doesn't it? Oh, why did I do that? Yeah, so that's pulled it together a bit more. I think I should. I've got it. Why don't I just learn from what I was doing a minute ago and leave the centre bit till the end? Right, so don't go all the way into the centre just yet. Ooh, see, that was getting a bit deeper, and I sort of felt like it stretched the material quite a bit and was in danger of piercing it then. Right, so now I'm going to work into the centres, because I left the centres out like I left that centre out, so I'll just work into that bit. Oh god, ow. Right, what happens down here if I work into that bit? That'll pull the... Do I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. I want to do that there. So many considerations for going to these sorts of things as well, because what I don't want to make is like a something that will just capture rainwater and it will sit in it. So like how the leaf goes onto the stem and the angle of it will rain, because it will inevitably get some sort of zinc treatment followed by a paint top coat, potentially, depending on what the client says they want. But I don't want to make something that will pull water. I want something that will, because that's a potential creator of rust over the years. Now, what do I want to do about this middle bit? I'll just try and neaten that line up a little bit. So at this point in time, this is when I'd be now thinking about shaping the leaf. Putting a bit of like curl to the tip or something, you know. I think this is potentially the point to stop at, because I don't want to sort of like overwork it, because the lines get like, they get deeper but they get a little bit wider as you go, and I don't really want to get to the point where they become undefined. Stand up straight for a minute. One thing I thought I should probably just do whilst I've got the fire lit is put a bit of shape into this with some heat, like probably just curling the tip over, or yeah, probably just that really. I think that'll do it. I don't want to do anything too drastic.